Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, and let's see, what do these tea leaves have to say? All right, I have a lot going on here today, and our card is the Two of Swords, which has to do with peace. This is about finding balance, harmony, focus on seeking wisdom. I like when the leaves kind of lay out. It almost looks like little stories kind of playing out in here. Okay, so it looks like we have, I want to start right in here. It looks like we have, it looks like maybe two beings in an embrace, and two beings in an embrace, and then we have one here and one here. Okay, this one looks like it's dancing with a frog. And this one kind of looks like it's pouring something on the back of this one, if you can see what I mean. So I almost feel like we have this sense of controlled chaos, almost like the silliness, absurdity of a late night dance, right? Once most everybody's gone home, but there are still those who are really there to like get it in, right? They're there to have a good time, go late into the night. And so you're dancing with frogs, you're pouring stuff on your best friend or whatever. And just, general kind of, what is that? The merry tricksters, if you know who those guys were back in the, 60s, 70s. Just kind of going out. Was it the merry pranksters? Merry pranksters. That's right. And just kind of having fun. But there is a sense of purpose to this. This is not just mindless, meaningless, jovial, bacchanalian madness, right? Although I think we are getting into, and I'll have to kind of check what the dates are, what the feast dates are, but I think that the Eleusinian mysteries, the festival, I think that is coming up. I feel like it's always, in my mind, I think it's aligned with the harvest. And so, and this is a place where they can only speculate what actually went on at these kinds of gatherings, initiation, mass initiation rites, feast days, and just kind of debauchery and so on. But there are a lot of interesting stories that I've kind of read about some of the the female or feminine devotees of Dionysus and of Bacchus, where they would kind of run in groups up the side of this mountain, barefoot and wild, probably, you know, mostly naked, and they would hunt animals, and supposedly, I mean, this is all very romanticized, I'm sure, they would, you know, catch a deer and pull it apart, a pig maybe, pull it apart and eat the raw meat right there. The kind of primal vicious nature of these forest devotees. And so anyways, I think that this is kind of, I mean, this is that time of year, especially in the northern hemisphere, right? Because we are going into the final days of summer, these very dogged days. There is an unraveling happening. Everything is turning. Most things have hit their peak. Right? Now they're starting to kind of descend. And in this descent, there are elements of that divine madness, that, you know, that rage, that lust, that thing inside of you just, you know, pulsating, tearing away all of your better judgment. And, you know, a lot of us really don't, we don't set aside time for ritual and ceremony anymore, which in a lot of ways are how we got these feelings out of us, these instincts, these impulses. And you know, you can apply morality, ethics to that however you want. You know, I don't think that I could tear an animal apart. I don't know that I could even, you know, whatever. But I do think that when we have a lack of space to blow off some steam in a way that is satisfying to us individually, it does get built up, right? It can, we can get wound so tight, going against our nature on this refinement process that we are on as beings, as human beings, right? Modern humans, you know, so far away from our animal life styles that we had not that long ago, relatively. And so, you know, I think that it is important for us to find those things that we need to do. We talk about this a lot in these readings. One of my favorites, primal screaming. You can do it well, you need to be careful depending on where you live. You don't want somebody to call the cops on you. But going somewhere and screaming from your core, right? Letting it out. Dancing. Socializing. Courtship. Acts of service. Doing, demolition, splitting wood. Being in the earth. Swimming in the water. Being immersed. It could be, it's so many things. It could look however it looks for you. playing video games. You know, I've never, and this is my age probably, because I'm old, not old enough to not understand that, you know, things like video games, these sub-realities that are created for us, or we create, have their use. 100%. Everything in moderation, right? But I think for a lot of people, this is a place to, you know, indulge some of these instincts, you know. And again, you can apply morality, ethics to this however you want. It doesn't change the fact that we're animals, and there's a lot of darkness in all of us. You're never gonna tell me any different. You know, I am very much a Jungian in a lot of ways. So, and so we find these ways, we find them, we seek them out, we create them. Our whole lives are creating situations. But the thing is, we forget the intentionality of it. And that's what ritual ceremony really, collective feasting, sacred, you know, events. When there is an intentional reason, an ordeal, an allegory, some kind of thing being played out, it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. It is a lesson, and it is a place to put energy. And we lack that greatly. And I am not advocating for any certain religion, any certain way, at all. Only that you find ways to intentionally act out, not act upon others, right? Some of these things that you have that come up in you. You know, I hear so much about, and I talk about meditation and these kinds of things a lot. We, in our culture, especially in Western culture, we think so much about certain kinds of, you know, meditation, contemplation, that's very limited to trying to dispel the ego, trying to dispel thoughts, right? But I think this is where that piece of active imagination comes in. That's really important. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. Active imagination. Going through scenarios intentionally, exploring them in meditative states in time set aside for this process. It's important for us to immerse ourselves in some of these things, not fetishize it. I'm not talking about obsessively thinking about something that, you know, becomes toxic to you. And I think a lot of this happens around, you know, adult materials, these kinds of coupling acts, you know, specific things that we get fixed on, you know, and obsessive about, becomes pathological. That's not what I mean. This is not, you know, it's similar in the way that you may be imagining, right? Getting really involved, all of your senses involved in this imagination process. But this is for all kinds of things, rebirth processes, forgiving, finding parts of your history that are kind of obscured. You know, just, I mean, anything you can think of, traveling into your interior landscapes. And I know I haven't talked about this very much, but You know, and well, as we talk about travel here, I see it looks like the Knight of Discs. We have a horse. He's kind of leaning down eating. We have people kind of passing through. We have somebody sitting on the horse. And so I feel that, you know, you are also in all of this very much turned towards your studies and interests. I think a lot of this has to do with the introspection. I think that you're very interested probably in philosophies, maybe religion, anthropology, you know, just psychology, whatever it is that is kind of makes up how people work. Where's their meaning? Where do things come from? You know, what are these collective beliefs we have? Who are the people who have denied them? You know, whatever, all these kinds of things that we think about, you know, when we're searching for something. And I think that you're really making some deep connections, you know, within yourself, outside of yourself. Have you ever had the experience of, you know, kind of finding a passive understanding just through your experience, and then again, like very, you know, soon after you find, you know, a group of people talking about this, or a school of thought, some obscure philosopher, you know, that pondered these same questions, and it's reaffirming to your own process. I think there's a lot of meaning going, you know, a lot of meaning going around right now. A lot of searching for just a smidge of serenity, you know, in this life of endless chaos. We see so many people on here. You know, I just see so many people in transit, just kind of wandering. Here I see, though, a fish, a koi, also looks not unlike the crescent, right? So a most holy symbol, but also, you know, a symbol of great prosperity, longevity, enduring. Okay? We see the person beneath it, hands up, almost double-sided. The horror of living and the awe of the way, right? It is less than a thread, that line between, right? So, you know, I think that you vacillate between the two and hold these two things within you, as we all do. But I think you're very acutely aware of this. I think Scorpio, more so than most other signs, has this attraction to, I mean, what we might consider the darkness, but it's not darkness really in the sense of, you know, good and bad. It is just the things that are more difficult in life. Okay? So you're not afraid to look at those things. You're not afraid to be honest. You know pain, but you're tempered. You are that weary, earthy, hardworking, calloused hands, beautiful Knight of Discs. All right, let's see. We also have, as I say all of this, I also see it looks like a little girl and she's kind of running, and I almost feel like there's a sense of this childlike enjoyment, just enjoying things. I see another little girl or boy. Well, I mean, these could be boys, of course. I guess because, you know, I try not to assume, but it looks like a dress kind of, but it could be a robe or a boy wearing a dress. It doesn't, you know, whatever. We have another a little being with a little ponytail. We have another young being right here, and it looks like maybe a parent holding them. They're playing, coming together, enjoying one another. I can hear laughter, happiness, you know, a sense of, well, you know, when you are willing to go into those, you know, if you could think of those dark wooded places, if you can walk by night, right? You're kind of that nocturnal dweller. You know the land well. When you do find yourself on a sunny afternoon, you know, in a meadow full of flowers, a child playing tag with their beloved siblings, there is a immensity felt in contrast to that other state of being, in that duality, that somebody who always walks in the daylight could not feel. Because you know. You just know. And so, and I see here, we have somebody pulling out, it looks like a fish. I feel like just a lot of abundance. More fish. Another person maybe fishing. We have a lot of abundance happening. I think that you're coming into a situation of hopefully making some money, maybe investing, having the clarity, you know, to put, you know, your resources where they're going to work for you. You know, and if you are like most of us and just kind of living paycheck to paycheck, like a lot of us do, you know, I think that you are going to have just the universe smiling a bit on you. There's going to be a little bit more. And I also feel that in this mode that you're in, this very contemplative, you know, not to be deterred, looking for those things that kind of reside in your, you know, in your forehead, in your chest, deep inside your rib cage, those beautiful secrets. There's also that youthful joy. And, you know, your ability to receive some amount of fortune truly is linked to these states. And here's the thing, is that when we can get into a place of, you know, feeling that happiness and gratitude, even small fortune feels like a lot. And that's really the secret of life. You know, not that, you know, not that I'm somebody who thinks, yeah, we should be thankful for our scraps or, you know, anything like this. But, you know, the reality is, we have to find a way to balance, you know, that warrior in us, with somebody who can be thankful for what we make for ourselves, what the universe provides for us. If not, we perish long before we die. And that's true. We become soul dead. So we find reasons to be happy, to be children in a field playing tag on a day that it's beautiful, 70 degrees. The sky is gorgeous. Not too many bugs biting. Everything aligned perfectly. Okay, so we have another person on a horse. We have this motif kind of really hanging on here, huh? So we have a person on a horse, and I see them kind of facing this way. Behind them, a lot of worries, okay, emotionality, but I feel leaving it behind, okay? Finding perceived order in the infinity of flux, the transitory nature of existence. Embracing it. Enjoy your time. It is fleeting. That's the only thing I can ever tell you that I know for sure. Actually, I don't really know if that's for sure. Who knows if time is linear or not? I do not know. I'm not one of the brightest minds by any means. So, I think, there's a lot of, as we said with the card, a lot of peace here. And a good time to enjoy it. All right, let's do our card, our affirmation card. The lightness of being affirmation cards. Here we go. Here we go. I'm just going to pull this up. All right, let's see what this one has to say. I like that. I like that. Those pretty pink flowers. All right, grace, blessings. Wait for flowers to open. Enjoy the golden hour. Trust your path to be gentle. Gentle, gentle, gentle. I like it. Not exactly the time of day I was talking about. Although, listen, I love the golden hour. We all do. It's beautiful. My favorite is the blue hour. I'm not going to lie. Especially, during the deep winter, early in the morning, the blue hour, when the floors are still cold before you've gotten up and turned the heat back up all the way, and everything is kind of a little frigid in there. Your body's still stiff, and you sit and you drink your tea or your coffee, and the whole world is blue and quiet. The light is filtering in through your what's the word? Sheer shades, or curtains, curtains. And it is just, that's perfection to me. I feel like I'm in some kind of painting, and I could drown in that moment, I think, and be happy. All right, so I want to say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such a pleasure and an honor. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and the algorithm helps us by, pushing the video out further and further, so more people are viewing it, and that helps grow the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing so. You can hit the little bell. When you subscribe, that thing will let you know when the next videos are coming out. Between now and the next Scorpio, you can watch your other placements, your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, and Venus, and cross-watching. Other than that, please leave a comment. I read every single one of them. And I reply back to all of them. So it does take me a little time to kind of get back. It might take a day or two. I'm in the midst of saying thank you and replying back to all the beautiful birthday love. So I thank you for all of you who said happy birthday. It truly means a lot. We're going to have a nice year. It's just, I have a good feeling about this next cycle coming up. So, again, I thank you, and we will talk in just a few days.